Well. Well, hello, beautifuls, and welcome to another live episode of the Gifted Table. I am your excited and delighted host, Dr. Mallanie Harris, and I'm so glad that you have pulled up your seat and that you are here. Today, I'm just going to take a few moments, ladies and gentlemen, if there are some gentlemen watching, and just talk about identifying our gifts. We're in this new year. We're all getting excited. Some folks have made resolutions. We've talked about that. Why? Why? Let's just identify our gifts. What are our gifts? We're coming off the holiday season. We were gift givers. We were gift receivers. And what does that mean? We've talked about before about how, your gifts don't belong to you. But let's take a moment to unwrap what that really means for us to be gifted. And if we even know how to identify what our gifts are. So let's just get into it. So I was thinking about, when I was a young child, the little Mallanie, and I was in first grade, and they gave us this test to see if we were special, gifted or something like that. And I remember there was tons of reading that we had to do, identifying different things. And I remember the teachers being so impressed that, they would ask me things like, what is the baby version of a cow? And I think I said a calf, and they're like, oh my God, she knows it. And I was reading certain books at a particular time, at a particular age. So I was identified as gifted as an early age. But what does that mean to be gifted when you're a child? And if you're not identified as a child, how do you identify your gifts as an adult? Well, we're going to talk about that today because as leaders, we really have to see where are we gifted because we have to share those things with others. So let's think about this. What are some things that you do all the time and that you do it well? Do you know what those things are? Sometimes those attributes, those characteristics that people may think are flaws are sometimes our gifts, right? There are gifts. For instance, do you like to talk a lot? I do. The gift of gab can really be a great gift. That might mean that you're more comfortable speaking publicly, or you may be more comfortable in settings where perhaps you're new in the environment, or maybe you're invited to a party, but you always meet a new friend. That's like a great thing. I see you, Tamika Thomas, saying me too. Yes, that is me as well. So you always meet a new friend wherever you are. So think about those things. Or perhaps, are you super organized? Are you that person that somebody walks into your house, everything is super organized, everything has its place, when someone has moved some things? Yeah, that's a gift. We have people who are professional organizers because of that gift. What about time management? Are you really good with your time management and people can rely on you, right? Yes. Hello, Dana Smith Lacey. Hello. I see you. What you mean that's your friend? Yeah, you are the organized one for sure. But that time management, yeah, let's talk. We have to deal with that. So what I want you to do, think about a gift that you recently received during this holiday season. Was it something that you wanted, or was it something that you needed that you received? And put it in the chat. I want to hear from you. What's something that you got this holiday season that was a gift? And was it something you wanted or something that you needed? And tell me why or why not. Let's have that conversation. I got a really great gift this year. It was gift cards, but not just any old regular gift cards. It was gift cards that was gifted to me from my brother and my sister-in-law that I can either use for airline or for gas. And for those who know me, I live in the Bay Area in California right now, but my family, friends, and everyone are in the southern part of California. So I travel back and forth. So thank you. I needed those gifts and I wanted them. So yes, I did. But let's talk about as adults, and when we're talking about as leaders, what are some gifts that we got? All right, let's see. Oh, we have Miss Ella Stokes on here. She says she loves being organized. Okay, okay. And Dana said she received time with friends and family. Yes, you needed that. And Tamika said she got rest, and I wanted and needed them during the holidays. Yes, that is awesome. That is awesome. We all, again, they don't have to be tangible things, right? So when we're talking about as leaders and our gifts that we have, how do we know if we are actually a gifted person? I'm going to read some things from a website from Eric Windhorst, and he summarized some items in a book by Mary Elaine Jacobson, Dr. Mary Elaine Jacobson, called A Gifted Adult. Listen to these bullets, pay attention, and if something sounds like you, pin it, throw it in the chat. So these are the characteristics of a gifted adult. I have always had an insatiable curiosity. They may call you nosy. It's insatiable curiosity. You don't want to know what's going on. I set very high standards for myself and can be my own worst critic. Anyone guilty of that? High standards and your worst critic? Why is that a gift? I have a powerful need to know and am a seeker of ultimate truths. Any lawyers? Right? Any law enforcement on the line? Yes, we do. The ultimate truth and the truth about life, the truth about everything, right? I have been criticized for being, quote, too much of just about everything. You're just too much about everything. Okay. I have always felt deeply wounded by injustice and human suffering. Any advocates out there? You're in those streets when there's protests, when you see injustice, when you hear injustice, it calls your name, it triggers you, and you're out there. That is a gift. I can see many sides of nearly every issue and love a good debate. Oh my goodness. The debaters always have something to say. Are you that person? Say, you always have something to say. You always have a comeback. That's a gift if used correctly. I have a lot of energy and often feel driven by my own creativity. Those artists, right? Music artists, painters, poets, anyone, some people in science is creative, right? How about I am often seen as the quote, idea person in a group. I have an idea. I was thinking about, hey, what do you guys think about this? You're gifted. I love puzzles, mazes, paradoxes, complex ideas, and words. You're gifted. How about I often feel responsible for problems that don't actually belong to me? Are you that person? Responsible for problems that don't actually belong to you, but you feel responsibility to take care of those things. How about many times I have felt, quote, different, and sometimes I feel like a minority of one. Have you felt that oneness? In Michelle Obama's new book, she talks about oneness. Sometimes when you're the only one of your kind in a room, that difference. I am a dyed in the wool perfectionist. Oh my goodness, dyed in the wool perfectionist. Woo, everything has to be right. I have been criticized for not, quote, sticking with one thing. I'm over here. I have a project here. I'm writing this. I'm doing this. Oh, I'm starring in this. I decided to start my own company. Well, now I'm going to do, yes, that could be a gift. Honesty, integrity, and authenticity are very important to me. Does that say about how you operate in your job, how you operate with others, how you communicate with others? A gift. How about I have a history of questioning rules and challenging authority? Think back to your childhood. Yeah, I have been accused of that, of always questioning the rules. Well, why we have to do it that way? Why can't we do it this way? Yes, could be a gift because you're thinking differently. You're thinking outside of that box that may have been created in that system, and you might be creating a new system if it's received in the right way. How about this one? I seem to be bothered by bright lights, aromas, and noises that others ignore. So you have sensitivity to smell. We talked about the five senses in leadership a couple of episodes ago and how sometimes that you got to be careful of that as a leader. But that makes you have an awareness and your sensitivity to others. Almost done. I have a well-developed sense of humor that is somewhat offbeat. No one really gets you, but it is a sense of humor. They chuckle every now and then. Okay, you might be a comedian. That's a gift. And the last one, I have maintained my childlike sense of playfulness and wonder. Any adults doing those things? How are those gifts for us? They are. Oh, I see some bingos. Yes, we have those. So, what I want us to do is identify our gifts. How do we identify our gifts? So, for today's episode, I've read through those things. You may have heard some characteristics that are what you are or how you impact your job, how you impact the people you work with, how you impact your community or even your family by those gifts. And they probably didn't realize those were your gifts. How about just being kind? That can be a gift. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So, March 13th, 2020. Does anyone remember that date? What is so significant about that date? March 13th, 2020 is when the country shut down. We began the shutdown for COVID. Many school districts, that was the last Friday. There was like, after this Friday, come Monday, don't come back to school. We're shutting down. Well, a group of colleagues and I and several people were in Sacramento, California at the California Association of African American Superintendents and Administrators, or CASA. It was the CASA conference, and everybody was freaking out. We were all getting on the same plane and coming back. We had several sessions that were closed and people canceled last minute, but everyone was trying to get out of there. And luckily, that was actually the last day of our conference. And I remember sitting on the plane and people were coming on and just looking despondent, fearful. We have folks coughing and people were looking at them sideways like, why are you? Oh no, you got the COVID, because it was so new. And I was literally sitting in the front row next to one of my colleagues, and I just started greeting people. Hi, welcome aboard. We're going to have a great flight. And they were like, okay. You will see the faces change every time. Next person, hi, welcome aboard. We're going to have a great flight. We're heading back home. Oh, okay. Disposition changed, because the flight attendant is standing there and they're, hi, come on in. The people are looking sad. After the first 10 people or so, the flight attendant said, okay, you're taking my job and I'm going to have to give you some wings, because people were very comfortable now. They were starting to feel a little different as they began walking. And I just kept doing it. Every person came on. A group, B group, C group, if you've been on that airline. And I remember a gentleman sitting on the opposite side. He had come on the plane before us, right? And he turned around and he said, well, I didn't get a greeting when I came on like that. I said, well, go ahead. Go step out, come back, and I'm going to greet you. So he did. He got up. He came back on. I said, welcome aboard. We're going to have a great flight. And he was like, thank you. Now, was that a gift? Maybe or maybe not. But if you make friends everywhere you go, and if you see that your behavior can change the temperature in a room, that may be a gift. Who knew how I may have changed someone's disposition that day by simply saying, welcome aboard with a smile, and we're going to have a great flight. Because I knew people were nervous and scared, right? Sometimes we just have to model the expectation. Well, hello, Summer Leaves has joined us. Hello. So good to see you here. So good to see you here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do as I start to close out. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to make a T chart. It's literally a chart that looks like a capital T. It's a T chart. And when you're thinking about what are your gifts and identifying your gifts, on the left side of that T chart, I want you to put confidence. And I want you to write down all the things, all the characteristics, all the things about you, your personality that you are very confident about. You're confident that you're organized. You're confident that you are a leader. You're confident that you build capacity. You're confident that you can coach well. You're confident that you listen very well. Whatever those things are, list them under confidence. And you know that's about you, your confidence. And then what I want you to do, I want you to call 3 people, any 3 people. They could be family members, they could be friends, they could be frenemies, they could be co-workers, it could be your boss, but 3 different people in your life, okay, and in different categories. And I want you to ask them, what are the characteristics that you think that I do really well? What are some things that I do really well that you think is a gift or is a talent? And then list them down, whatever they say. So you're going to have your side of what you believe you're confident in. And then on the right side, you're going to write down those characteristics that you've received compliments or people say that you do very well. And then I want you to annotate those things, circle them, highlight the things that you said and that they said. What were the similarities? Circle them, highlight them, put a star next to them, underline them, or whatever. And then ask yourself, are these some of the gifts that I'm currently operating in that's helping to support my team, that's helping to support my employees, that's helping to support my staff, that's helping to support my community, that's helping to support my family? Could those be your gifts? It's very possible. Challenge. T-chart what your confidence in and what your compliments are. And then look at those things that are the same. Before we leave today, I want you to be sure to share this video. It will be posted on YouTube with someone else. And then next week, we're going to talk about leaning in or on your gifts. Leaning in or on your gifts. Okay. So in the comments, after you finish here, write down someone who you believe is gifted and why. Who is a gifted person who you know? What is their gift that really gets you and why? Why is it so important? All right. If you have any questions right now, we would love to entertain some of those in the chat. So please put some questions in the chat. You can put the person who you think is gifted in the chat. I would love to see those. Let's spend a moment or so doing that. And give us your compliments and give us your confidence. Okay. So I'll even start with myself. If I was to do my T-chart, I would say for myself, I'm confident in that I believe that I make a difference in how I listen to what people are saying and what they're not saying and help lead them into what it is they really want to identify. Like, especially if they have a question, if they're really battling with an issue and they want someone to speak with. I listen and I question them. I think my questioning skills really help people to discover their own answer. I'm pretty confident in that. Now, if anyone in the chat want to send me a compliment of something that you think I'm gifted in, I would love to see that and I can use it on my T-chart. But let's see. What about you? Who wants to share real quick something that you're confident in, your characteristics? And then don't forget, you're going to call someone for a compliment. Or if you received a compliment today, let's share some things. Okay, look at that. Well, thank you, Summer Leaves. It's my friend Erica. She says, I'm very intelligent. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Dana Smith Lacey has put, she's confident that I am loyal to my family, friends, and employer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, she is. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm driven and passionate about everything I do. Yes, sometimes it gets me in trouble. On that list where it says you're doing things and you're doing more. Yeah, that's me. Thank you so much, friend. Thank you so much. Thank you. So appreciate that. I appreciate you all sharing. This is awesome. All right. So you have your orders. You have your orders, people. T chart. And then don't forget, and the YouTube channel, like it. Please give us a big thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. All right. And we have one more. Let's share this one from another beautiful queen, Darlene. She says, I really like this T-chart assignment. You are excellent at choosing assignments that help people grow and stay focused on reaching their goals. Thank you so much, sis. Love you. And thank you so much for being here. Okay, everyone, until next time, remember, stay grounded, innovative, fierce, transparent every day. In other words, stay gifted. And I'll see you next time. Bye.